Now, let us see the reading and writing skills. Reading and writing skills and how we can use our reading and writing skills in studying the knowledge. So, that is in science. So, if we take up the reading, so there should be some exercise we do before reading a lesson, science lesson. If a lesson like some ecosystem is given, so if a lesson like human body is given, so you need to first look at the different terms and their meanings. Without knowing the meaning of a particular word, you may not be able to understand the whole sentence. So by that it will be difficult for you to comprehend the concept that is explained. So you need to focus on the vocabulary that is given, different words. So we can look at the vocabulary, we can look at the glossary for the meanings of the terms. So the second one is while reading, what we should do while reading. While reading in the book, we will find some statements. So we should look for that next paragraphs which are supporting or commenting on the statement that will give the complete detail. So there you will get different points on basing which the statement was made. So it will give us the complete understanding so that we can relate different topics that are told in a particular lesson. So there will be some relation between the different topics given. So the main aim of all the different topics will be one, the aim of the lesson that we can understand. So and after reading that, after completing the reading part of the lesson, that you can look at that question answers. You will get so many questions. So you can see whether all your questions are answered in that different topics, or you can search for that information. So in this way we can do the reading process. Whereas let us look at the writing. So writing is of different types. One is informative writing. That means you are writing about an experiment. You are writing about some information. So that is a different. And narrative writing is different. Generally narrative writing is used in writing a story. So you are narrating the process. You are narrating a story, the life of a person or some personality or some character. So that is the narration. And expressive writing is expressing your feelings in writing form. This is done in the form of songs, poems. So the creative way of expression of feelings. So that is by writing. And in persuasive writing. So in persuasive writing, what do we write there? Different kind of papers, articles on science, different issues. So presentation of different papers on that science, that is in persuasive writing. So in different ways the writing can be done. So the informative writing and persuasive writing we use in science generally to present the different information. So what else help us in science? So in the study of a scientific aspect, in investigating a problem or while experimenting, we need the help of measurement. It helps a lot. Different apparatus like thermometers to measure the temperature, measuring bakers to measure the volume of liquids, and weighing machines to measure the weight of substances. In such a way, there are different kind of equipment available to carry out the measurement. So it helps in studying a problem. And even the number sense and numbers are used. So the collected data is kept in the tables in the form of numbers, which are very much used for the primary collection of data. So next, collecting the data, interpretation of data. So showing the large amount of data, so many variations, so many numbers. So the numbers can be presented well in the form of chart, table, graph, bar graphs, pie charts. In such a way the data can be interpreted and presented. So the numbering is very important in graduation also. Graduation. So we studied the different equipment are used for measuring cylinders or thermometers. So everything it needs to have some scale, some measurement. The measurement is known by the scale graduation. So the graduation is also very important. So on basing that only the experiments are done. If you visit a science lab, you will have a measuring cylinder, graduated cylinder. So the cylinder which is having some marks and a physical balance. Everything will be done with calculations only. You have formulas and calculate. So unless until you calculate that, you will not find out the answer. For example, some chemical is mixed in some water. You are asked to find out how much chemical is mixed in the water. So how do you estimate it? So you have to estimate in the form of numbers, units, this many grams. So to find out how many grams, to investigate that how many grams of the chemical are mixed in the water. So you need measurement, you need numbers, you need interpretation of the data, and you need presenting the data in the form of a graph or a chart. So now let us see that lab safety. Lab safety, it is very important to maintain the safety measures in the laboratory. When you enter the lab, you need to follow certain precautions to avoid any physical injuries or damages to you or your body parts. So science experiments, they give us joy, and there will be a lot of excitement in exploring the facts, but at the same time the chemicals or the equipment, sometimes they'll become dangerous if they are mishandled. So let us see, in maintaining the lab safety, first part we see dressing. Dressing is very important. Preferably we should enter the labs with the cotton clothes or a cotton apron. We see the scientists or lab persons, even doctors, wear a white color apron, so which is made up of a natural fiber like cotton, which will catch the fire less easily. So that is very important, because if any chemicals may spill, so this apron will protect. It catches, the catch of fire is less in case of a cotton apron. So aprons are very important. Or if you have a long sleeved shirt, you have to roll back your long sleeve, so by that they will not come in contact with the chemicals or fire in which you are experimenting with. So dressing, a dress code is very important. And second thing is that your eyes, safety of your eyes. While performing certain experiments, certain gases may come out of that reaction. So if the vapors enter your eyes, they may damage your eyes, may lead to permanent blindness if the chemicals are dangerous. And we should not put the hands with which we touched the chemicals in our eyes. And it is better to wear a safety goggle in the laboratory. When we are working in the laboratory, here in dressing, apron, and here safety goggles. Safety goggles are required in a laboratory. And we should have some knowledge about symbols, lab symbols. Every chemical bottle in the laboratory is given with some kind of symbols like this. So which will indicate the danger with the symbol, the chemical. Certain symbols show that fire symbol, that means the chemical is inflammable. So certain symbols, they show that some skull, that is, it indicates the chemical is poison. In such a way we will come to know about the chemical by looking at the symbol, so we can have some knowledge about the symbols. And if something happens, mishap, something falls on our hand or something is cut, immediately we should report to the teacher. So notice, bring it to the notice of your teacher or the supervisor immediately. And we should not taste or we should not smell anything in the laboratory unless until it is advised by the teacher. So you cannot make your own reaction and you cannot taste the product. So it is very dangerous. So do not taste and do not smell anything in the laboratory. And we must protect ourselves from shocks. So unnecessarily we should not use any electrical appliance, we should not plug any wires, we should not cut the wires with bare hands. So there may be a flow of electricity, and sometimes there may be a provision of gas and heaters or stove or burners in the laboratory. Should be very careful with the fire, and we should be very careful with chemicals, volatile chemicals and inflammable chemicals like alcohol and chemicals like acids. So all such care is to be taken when we are arrived to do certain activity in a laboratory.